For nearly 5,000 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has stood alone against the horizon, an immense geometric giant rising from the amber sands of Egypt. It is older than every major civilization we know, older than Greek philosophy, Roman Empire, Maya temples, and even most of humanity's written memory. And yet, for all this time, we have been told a single simple explanation: that Pharaoh Khufu built this colossal structure as his tomb, using nothing more than copper chisels, ropes, wooden sleds, and armies of loyal workers. It is a story repeated in classrooms, printed in textbooks, and presented as fact across the world. But the truth is far stranger, because almost everything we think we know about the Great Pyramid rests not on solid evidence, but on assumptions, interpretations, and narratives carefully protected for generations. The first clue lies in what isn't there. The ancient Egyptians documented their lives with obsessive detail: rituals, wars, festivals, taxes, and every major act of their kings. Yet inside the Great Pyramid, the monument supposedly built for Khufu, there is not a single inscription praising him, no hieroglyphic record of its construction, no funerary texts, no symbols of the afterlife, and no trace of the pharaoh's body. The greatest royal tomb in Egypt is completely bare. Scholars often point to faint red quarry marks found in hidden chambers high above the king's chamber, marks said to contain Khufu's name. But these marks were discovered thousands of years after the pyramid was sealed. Their authenticity has been debated for decades, with some researchers even suggesting they could have been added during early explorations. In a monument of such significance, absence speaks louder than presence. Then there is the question of engineering. The Great Pyramid is aligned with true north with an astonishing accuracy, within a fraction of a degree, an achievement even modern engineers struggle to replicate without advanced instruments. Its four sides are nearly perfectly equal in length. Its base is leveled with a precision measured in millimeters, and inside, vast granite blocks weighing up to 80 tons are fitted with machining-like precision. Granite, one of the hardest stones on Earth, cannot be shaped efficiently with copper tools, the very tools mainstream archaeology claims were used. Engineers attempting to replicate this work with such tools have failed, their chisels bending and breaking long before making any meaningful progress. Some cut marks inside the pyramid show spiral drill patterns, the kind normally associated with advanced rotary tools, not primitive hand chisels. So how did a Bronze Age society achieve what even modern technology finds challenging? These questions grow heavier when we examine the patterns of control surrounding the pyramid's exploration. For decades, one man has stood at the center of everything: Dr. Zahi Hawass. As Egypt's most powerful archaeologist, he has held authority over permits, excavations, internal scans, and all research conducted on the Giza Plateau. His charisma made him a global figure, but his influence also placed him in the position of a guardian, someone who decides which questions may be asked and which may not. Independent researchers have long expressed frustration, claiming that certain discoveries are suppressed, access is denied without explanation, and alternative theories are publicly ridiculed before they can even be studied. Whether this control is born from national pride, academic preservation, or something deeper remains open to debate. In the early 1990s, the mystery intensified when German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink sent a small robotic camera into narrow shafts inside the Queen's chamber, passages previously dismissed as symbolic. What he found shocked the world: a small limestone door fitted precisely with two copper handles, a feature unseen anywhere else in Egyptian architecture. It was a discovery poised to redefine our understanding of the pyramid's purpose. Yet just as he prepared to open the door, Egyptian authorities abruptly shut down the project. Years later, when a new team drilled a tiny hole, they discovered another sealed door behind the first, another layer of mystery, but no further exploration has been allowed. Then in 2017, advanced muon radiography revealed a massive hidden void above the Grand Gallery, a chamber so large it rivals the biggest internal spaces in the pyramid. No entrance is visible, no explanation has been provided, and once again, deeper investigation was denied. Why? Why block access to areas that could reshape human history? Why limit scientific inquiry at the very moment breakthrough technology offers answers? Perhaps the answer is uncomfortable. Perhaps the truth lying beneath the pyramid threatens more than old assumptions. It threatens entire historical frameworks. If the Great Pyramid is older than we think, if it was built with knowledge we cannot yet explain, or if it was constructed by a civilization predating pharaonic Egypt, then our understanding of human history must be rewritten from the ground up. And so, we stand at the edge of a mystery as old as civilization itself, a monument whose precision rivals modern engineering, whose purpose remains unclear, whose origins are still debated, and whose secrets may be intentionally kept from view. But tonight, we peel back the surface. We examine the evidence ignored, the anomalies dismissed, and the questions that refuse to die. Because the Great Pyramid was never just a tomb. It was a message carved into stone. And the deeper we go, the louder that message becomes. As we descend deeper into the mystery of the Great Pyramid, one thing becomes clear. The closer we look, the more impossible the traditional explanation becomes. The monument is not just a tomb, it is an engineering puzzle that challenges the limits of what we believe ancient civilizations were capable of. Every angle, every corridor, every polished stone whispers a story that stretches far beyond the reach of written history, one that mainstream archaeology has struggled and sometimes refused to acknowledge. The internal structure of the pyramid alone defies simple understanding. The Grand Gallery, a soaring passageway rising at an astonishingly precise angle, extends upward like the interior of a massive machine rather than a burial monument. Its corbelled walls fit together so tightly that not even a razor blade can slide between the stones. This level of stonework demands techniques far beyond copper chisels, wooden mallets, or primitive ramps. Despite countless demonstrations attempting to replicate this engineering with ancient tools, none have come close to achieving the same precision, scale, or speed required to build the pyramid in 20 years. The time frame Egyptologists insist is accurate. But perhaps the greatest challenge to the mainstream timeline lies beneath the desert floor, granite blocks transported from Aswan, nearly 900 kilometers away. Some weigh over 80 tons. Modern cranes struggle with loads of this magnitude. Yet we are told ancient workers moved them using wooden sleds dragged across sand, a method engineers consistently say is infeasible at this scale. Even attempts to test the friction-reducing idea of wetting the sand fall apart when faced with blocks of such colossal weight. These inconsistencies raise a haunting possibility. The builders possessed capabilities that do not fit within our current understanding of ancient Egypt. Inside the pyramid, the mystery deepens. Drilled cores from the granite stones show uniform, spiraling patterns consistent with high-speed rotary drilling. Engineers like Christopher Dunn have analyzed these marks in detail, concluding that they reveal machine-level precision, cuts smooth enough to suggest the use of advanced tools operating with consistent pressure and speed. Experimental archaeology has tried to replicate these patterns using copper and sand-abrasive drills, yet the results fall short by a wide margin. The drills wear out too quickly, the holes remain uneven, and the spiral patterns cannot be reproduced. Something isn't adding up. Then there is the issue of light. The pyramid's internal corridors stretch deep into the structure, far beyond the reach of natural sunlight. If torches or oil lamps were used, the stone ceilings would be darkened with soot. But after countless inspections, including scientific surveys, researchers have found no soot residue, no smoke damage, and no traces of flame whatsoever. This strange absence suggests that the builders lit their work in a way we do not understand. Mirrors, unknown chemical lamps, some other method long forgotten. The anomalies do not end there. The pyramid's shafts, narrow, precise tunnels branching from the king's and queen's chambers, align perfectly with specific stars, including Sirius, Orion's belt, and Alpha Draconis. These alignments match the sky as it appeared thousands of years before Khufu's time. This single fact shatters the conventional timeline. If the alignments were intentional, then whoever designed the pyramid possessed astronomical knowledge stretching far deeper into the past than mainstream Egyptology is willing to accept. Despite these glaring inconsistencies, exploration of these shafts has been tightly controlled. In the early 1990s, when Gantenbrink's robotic camera reached the mysterious small limestone door fitted with copper handles, The world waited for answers. But instead of further investigation, authorities halted the project abruptly, removed Gantenbrink's team and restricted further access. When another team was eventually allowed to drill a tiny hole in 2002, they discovered a second sealed door behind the first, an even deeper layer of mystery. Yet exploration stopped again. No one has been allowed to continue. Then, in 2017, the story took an even more dramatic turn. Using muon radiography, a technique relying on cosmic particles streaming from space, scientists scanned the Great Pyramid and detected a massive hidden void above the Grand Gallery. A chamber so large it rivals the scale of the King's Chamber itself. Its purpose is unknown. Its contents are a complete mystery. And once again, Egyptian officials declined further investigation, citing preservation concerns. But this pattern of selective access raises questions too large to ignore. Why restrict exploration of one of the greatest architectural achievements in human history? Why halt investigations at the exact moment breakthroughs appear imminent? Why suppress discoveries that could reveal extraordinary truths about humanity's past? Independent researchers have long argued that the answers may threaten established historical narratives that scholars and institutions have guarded for more than a century. When an entire academic field builds its foundations on a specific timeline, challenging that timeline becomes more than an intellectual debate. It becomes a threat to reputations, careers, and national identity. But the mysteries surrounding the Great Pyramid are not confined to its stones alone. Evidence around the nearby Sphinx points to something even more dramatic. Geological surveys reveal deep vertical erosion patterns around the Sphinx enclosure, patterns caused by prolonged, heavy rainfall. Yet such rainfall hasn't occurred in the Sahara for more than 12,000 years, long before the conventional age of ancient Egypt. This suggests the Sphinx, and by extension, parts of the Giza complex, may be far older than Egyptologists claim. If the Sphinx predates the pharaohs, then so too might the Great Pyramid. And if that is true, then the civilization responsible may not have been Egyptian at all, but a far older culture, whose knowledge and achievements were lost to time. The deeper we dig, the more the sands of Egypt seem to shift beneath the foundations of history itself. Something about the traditional narrative is incomplete. Something about the Great Pyramid does not fit, and the evidence hidden in plain sight points toward truths long ignored. This is where the mystery sharpens, where the weight of unanswered questions becomes impossible to dismiss, and it sets the stage for what comes next. The revelations, the suppressed theories, and the possibility that the Great Pyramid is far more than a monument. It may be a message from a forgotten world. As we reach the final chapter of this ancient mystery, one truth rises above the desert sands. The Great Pyramid is not simply a structure, it is a riddle, a monument that challenges everything we think we know about human history. And at the center of this riddle stands a single figure, Dr. Zahi Hawass, whose influence over Egyptian archaeology has shaped not only what the world is allowed to see, but also what it is forbidden to question. For decades, Hawass has been the gatekeeper of Egypt's past. Charismatic, authoritative, and unyielding, he has controlled excavation permits, restricted independent research, and decided which discoveries become known to the public. Many see him as a guardian of Egypt's cultural heritage. Others see him as the final barrier standing between humanity and long-buried truths. Again and again, crucial explorations have been halted at the moment they seemed closest to uncovering something extraordinary. Gantenbrink's door, the sealed chamber detected above the Grand Gallery, the unexplored voids hidden behind limestone walls. Each time researchers sought permission to continue, access was denied, despite having the technology, expertise, and global interest needed to uncover the truth. This recurring refusal raises a question far deeper than archaeology alone. What is being protected, and why? Supporters argue that Hawass is simply defending Egypt's legacy from wild speculation and pseudoscience. But the pattern is unmistakable. Those who challenge the established timeline, those who propose older origins, those who highlight evidence of lost technologies, are routinely dismissed, silenced, or barred from the sites entirely. And in the shadows of this silence, the mysteries continue to grow. Consider the astonishing alignment of the Giza pyramids with Orion's belt, a pattern matching the night sky not during Khufu's reign, but nearly 10,500 years earlier. If intentional, this places the origins of the design thousands of years before dynastic Egypt even existed. Consider the Sphinx, whose weathering patterns suggest an age far older than any pharaoh. Consider the flawless precision of the granite blocks, the machine-like drilling marks, the absence of soot, the transport of 80-ton stones across impossible distances. These are not small inconsistencies. Together they point towards something monumental, an ancient intelligence, an advanced understanding, or a lost chapter of human civilization, one far older and more capable than our textbooks admit. Researchers like Robert Schoch, John Anthony West, Christopher Dunn, and Graham Hancock have all pointed to this same possibility from different angles, that Egypt did not suddenly rise from primitive tribes to masterful engineers, but inherited the remnants of a civilization that came before, a civilization erased by time, catastrophe, or both. If this is true, then the Great Pyramid is not merely a royal tomb, it is a relic of forgotten genius, a beacon from a vanished world, a message carved in stone by hands we no longer remember. Yet mainstream archaeology refuses to explore these ideas, not because they lack evidence, but because they demand rewriting the story of human origins. To accept a forgotten civilization is to question timelines, institutions, and beliefs held for more than a century. It is to admit that humanity's past is far deeper, far darker, and far more mysterious than we imagined. But the sands of Egypt cannot hide their secrets forever. The unanswered questions continue to echo. What lies behind the sealed limestone door? What secrets sleep inside the massive hidden chamber discovered in 2017? Why do the pyramids encode astronomical knowledge measured in the sky of 10,500 BC? How did ancient builders cut, transport, and place stones with precision modern technology struggles to match? And perhaps the most haunting question of all, who built it? And what did they want the future to know? Standing before the Great Pyramid today, we are humbled not by what we understand, but by what we still do not. The monument rises like a silent witness to ages long lost, its stones humming with knowledge that refuses to be forgotten. Whether it was constructed by Egyptians using skills now lost, or by an older civilization erased from history, one thing is certain: the true story of the Great Pyramid is far more expansive, far more complex, and far more extraordinary than the official narrative allows. And so the mystery remains, waiting behind sealed doors, hidden voids, and ancient stone, waiting for the moment humanity is courageous enough to dig deeper, waiting for the day we finally ask the questions that have been buried for thousands of years. Perhaps one day we will know, perhaps one day the sands will give up their secrets. But until that moment, the Great Pyramid stands as it always has, a monument to the unknown, a challenge to our assumptions, and a reminder that history's greatest truths are not always written. Sometimes they are carved into stone, waiting for us to finally see them.